Hey there, Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley here in the First Alert Weather Center / WVLT Newsroom. I'm actually just updating the WVLT Facebook page right now. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to join in the conversation here. For those of you who are watching this after the fact, you can jump around and kind of queue up your moments that you're looking forward to. Maybe that'll answer your questions that may come up later. Also, I'd say open the WVLT First Alert Weather app. Quite often we might get a question about a forecast and we've got a video covering that specific topic for you in that free WVLT First Alert Weather app. So let's talk about what is going on with this extended cold snap. What we're keeping an eye on here is these few days where, for the most part, we're below freezing. Most of our area does not get above freezing, only a small portion briefly does. So it's really the longevity of this event as to why we've highlighted these as First Alert Weather days. We've had some cold snaps, but dragging this out can actually drag out the impact. So that's really important. It also does set the stage. Notice right now I do not have Friday and Saturday highlighted as First Alert Weather days, but likely to be highlighted very soon. I'm keeping an eye on the exact track of the next system that will likely meet this cold air and create a rain to ice to snow line in the region. So let's talk about what's happening right now. We've had some patches of ice to start your Tuesday, so that part of the first alert has definitely verified. We've had some flurries to a couple of snow showers. That has definitely verified so far, and so now we're really focused on the extension of the wind chills, the ongoing cold conditions. That's what everyone needs to be keeping in mind as we move forward with the next couple of days. So in your first alert forecast, what we're tracking for you right now is really some clouds to ebb and flow, drop a few flurries, winds to stir around. So for the rest of your Tuesday, this is kind of what you have to dress for. All right, wind chills at best, mid to upper 20s. So like I said, while some spots like Knoxville try to tick over the freezing line briefly, doesn't matter, right? This is what it feels like for you. Feels like mid to upper 20s throughout your afternoon, early evening, right back into those low 20s for wind chills. I know a lot of you work outdoors. Keep this in mind, especially. You want to cover up as much exposed skin as you possibly can and keep these winds in mind. That's only a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind, right? So it does have a big impact on us, on outdoor animals too. I've got 2 dogs. They stay inside. Obviously, we're still letting them out every so often, but I've also got chickens. We're having to make sure we're rotating out their water, keep them well taken care of. We are even securing some barriers to block winds for them too. As we go into tonight, just know that we've got those upper teens to low 20s. Now we're talking 20 to start your Wednesday, 19 Crossville, 20 Knoxville, 18 Rutledge, 19 Middlesboro, 21 Newport. So this is where the cold air just keeps kind of settling in a little bit more. Now we'll still have some clouds kind of stirring around. Actually tonight it looks like they clear out, come back in. That means we do have a few flurries flying. When it's this cold, you're just kind of pulling those flakes right out of those clouds on into your Wednesday morning as well. Now I'll point out wind chills for Wednesday. So looks like those clouds will stick around a little longer during the day on Wednesday. I do think that's going to make it just overall feel colder in addition to those winds. So wind chills will actually be teens to 20s at lunch on Wednesday. That means the best we can do, and that feels like forecast where you live, is feeling like 16 Wednesday afternoon in Crossville, 19 Middlesboro. We always do the forecast where you live on WVLT News. If you haven't joined us or haven't caught this, we also post it in the First Alert Weather app because our terrain can make some big differences. This is a great example of that. Wind chill 26 Athens to 27 Loudoun to 27 in Knoxville for your Wednesday afternoon, but 23 Townsend. Wind chill 26 Harriman to 16 Crossville. So there you go up onto the plateau, can make a big difference. 14 for a wind chill on Jamestown area, the mountains of northeast Tennessee to southeastern Kentucky. Wind chill 18 Oneida, 17 in Barberville, 20 Powell Valley to Tazewell, 21 Rutledge. It can feel like 20 in Morristown for your Wednesday afternoon and 24 Pigeon Forge. So it's really the impacts to people that we're keeping in mind and why we have these first alert weather days highlighted. So during this cold snap, speaking of, people's always at the top of the list. Actually, kind of 3 Ps of winter weather. You want to check on people, pets, and pipes. I mentioned that we have outdoor chickens, so we've made sure they've got dry bedding, make sure we're blocking winds, replacing water regularly. If you have some outdoor animals, keep that in mind too. Check on neighbors, of course, first and foremost. We got to make sure our loved ones, our neighbors, our family is safe, has safe heat sources as well. And then you can protect your own home in terms of covering those outdoor spigots and, of course, dripping interior faucets, especially if they're on the exterior wall, meaning those pipes are already running colder. So just keep that in mind. That could be something simple you do at night to try to avoid any frozen pipes over the next couple of days, because then we're looking ahead to the next big weather maker. Well, it's this cold snap through Thursday. That then means the next event comes in and just meets this cold air. So let's just say on this no much fun scale, Say that 10 times fast. We're watching this track for Friday to Saturday. We're keeping an eye on those potential impacts. We're watching this very closely for you. I'm loading up comments and questions right now on Facebook for those of you, again, who might ask a question after the fact. Jump around in this video, see if I answered it for you, or open that free WVLT First Alert weather app, because watching this track is extremely important. Basically, think about it this way. It's already cold, so we could easily get some snow showers to reach up into our area. But we're also riding that line where we could get some wintry mix, and I'm highlighting this here with this particular model in your First Alert Futurecast, where some mixing can actually cut way down on the snowfall, and here's why. Basically, when you take out some of that and convert it over to even some sleet or rain, you're cutting way down on your snowfall potential, because it only takes 1 inch of rain to convert over to 10 inches of snow. So in this case, we would be getting into that average 10-to-1 ratio. So if you only take out 1/4 of an inch of rain to change over to some sleet and to some rain, well, that's 2.5 inches of snow, right? So that's why I say a little bit of a changeover to a wintry mix to rain actually is a big difference in that snowfall potential. So that's what we're actually watching really closely for you, and why we haven't put solid numbers on this yet. We're watching that snow line to move across the region. The key here is how far south that snow line reaches. So this would be one of the more southern tracks in terms of the potential that this system has. And notice that snow line goes all the way south of Atlanta and all the way up towards Lexington. So that's where we're keeping an eye on, kind of that whole swath of a system right now. So that would be where that ice line could be closer to Atlanta, and we could get some brief mixing here, and then that potential for snowfall. Again, Friday night to Saturday would be when I would say, yeah, no holds barred, it's going to be snow in our area. So we're just fine tuning that exact timing and any of the back and forth precipitation types in terms of that impact. So right now I'm calling it more of a moderate snow, likely for pretty much everyone in our area. And then we could get some heavier pockets of snow, especially in our higher terrain. We were just talking about that. It impacts on just temperatures alone. Yes, of course, our higher terrain impacts the snowfall potential. So Plateau, Tennessee, Kentucky line the mountains. We're keeping an eye on that for you, as well as every nook and cranny in our area. So what you need to know for now is that we are tracking those flurries and wind chills and patches of ice. Of course, we have this extended freeze. Wind chills a big factor here for a couple of days through Thursday, our First Alert weather days, and then to wrap it all up in your First Alert 8-day planner. We're keeping a close eye on that next system meeting this cold air. So that's why Friday to Saturday are likely to be added into these First Alert weather days, but really kind of two different stories there. So make sure you have that WVLT First Alert weather app. We'll send you a message, actually, even in between newscasts if something changes, so we can keep you informed. And I'd say this time of year, the stay informed to stay safe motto I like to have absolutely applies. I'd say also stay warm out there. Thanks for joining us.